Alright boys, welcome back to Satisfactory. Today, we are going to be making my fuel power plant, and we are going to be conquering this entire biome. Not this one, that one. For the most part. So I'm pretty sure this is like the entire biome here. And in this area, there's about 7 or 8 oil nodes. I'm planning this off of 7 oil nodes, fully sharded, bringing in 4,200 crude oil a minute, which is then going into 28 fully sharded refineries. And I don't think I have enough power shards for this, so I'm gonna have to go power shard hunting, which I got my jetpack, so it should be much easier. But from the 28 refineries fully sharded, we'll be producing 2,800 fuel per minute. And then that will be going into 140 fuel generators, which should then be bringing us in 35,000 megawatts of power. And I have a phenomenal idea for this. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to pull it off, but this is my reference photo. And you might be wondering, oh, why are you doing that? Well, because America. And what the hell is more goddamn powerful than a
big block Chevrolet? I'm a big Chevy fan. Born and raised in America, I would like to make clear. This here was built in America, and so was I. God damn, I love America.
So that's my plan. And essentially what I want to do is take all the oil nodes and put them in a giant block, which is then going to have like a pillar running up, almost like a trophy stand. And then I want a massive Chevy logo that can be seen basically anywhere in the map. And my plan is to do all of the refineries in the giant block and just send up the fuel pipes, so that way the logo is all fuel generators. And I think if I do this right, it could look really good. The only thing I'm having a hard time with is trying to figure out exactly how big to make it, because to do my idea, I'm going to need a lot of these signs, which for the most part aren't a problem until I get to the billboards. And I don't know if I'm gonna need the billboards yet, but if I make the building extremely massive, I'm sure I'm gonna need the billboards to see anything from a distance. But first things first, I need to get a power tower and drag it over there. And I just want to get a flat platform laid out around all the oil nodes that I'm going to be using before I actually start building everything. So let's head over there and do that. Alright, so I went over there and I did a little bit of thinking, and I was wondering a way to get the oil from the oil extractors to go up to the giant square nicely, because it's gonna have to be off the ground because there's a lot of hills and foliage and whatnot. And so I'm going to repurpose the tunnel that I used over there by placing it upright like this, deleting the conveyors on the inside, and then I'm going to place another one right next to it and do the same. And then to give this a cleaner look and to match the logo more, I'm going to replace these walls with 1 meter walls, and I'm replacing the concrete walls with the basic walls. Because the concrete walls, they don't have like a true black color. It's like a gray. The basic walls do get this true black color, but I don't really too much care for the look of the basic walls. Actually, that doesn't look bad at all. Hold on. Okay, I'm actually kind of really liking the look of this. So I think this is what we're going to do. And then to match the aesthetic, I'll probably just copy this right next to it for a 2 wide pillar, which will be the centerpiece that shoots straight up and holds the entire logo. And I think it'll match really well with the aesthetic that I'm going for. Nope. But yeah, this should be plenty big enough to fit an oil extractor inside of it and run the pipe upwards. And that's all I'm hoping for. Now my plan is to basically take this blueprint, nudge it into place, and just like that, basically completely cover it. And then we can just grab our pipe and shoot that straight up to our soon-to-be platforms. But this isn't high enough. I'm probably going to need to go up like 2 or 3 more times. And after I get a few of these down all over this biome, it should look pretty good. I just got to do this like 6 more times. Okay, so it's been a minute, probably like 30-ish minutes, and I got them all placed down. And it's looking pretty good. So these are like the pillars supporting all the foundations, and I'm gonna surround them with foundations and box over them as well, so that way the pipes are nicely inside the building and there's no open holes or whatever. And I'm most likely going to use the same walls, so that way I can make the building the same true black as well. And then I'll probably keep the foundations how they are. Since they're going to be boxed in, you won't see the light foundations. And if I made the foundations the true black on the inside, it would probably end up being a major pain on my eyes. So now I believe just the next thing to do would be to fill in the foundations and then actually build the walls, actually box it in. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully I can make it look better than what I think it's going to look based off of what I'm looking at. Okay, and then this is the final wall. As you can see, the wall is 15 high. And this is a massive building. Is this probably a lot more space than what I need? Yeah. Is it unnecessary? No, this is sick. Even though it's nothing, it's sick. It's a massive building that's going to just be holding 28 refineries producing my fuel. And then I'm going to find like a good middle ground to do like a pillar up to the however high I decide to go, which will then be the start of the logo. But alright, before I start on the refineries and actually pulling the oil up and onto the platform, I want to head back real quick and make a little blueprint for lights, so that way I don't have to place the lights after I place all the walls. Should make it a lot easier, a lot more simple. And I'm going to need more concrete and plastic for sure. We're making great progress. Massive building. Should do me nice. Alright, and this is what I'm doing. Just extremely simple, using as much space as I can, 4x4, and the blueprint for one light. And then I'm just going to take this and spread it all throughout the base, try and make it look as even as possible, and then just connect it to power, and should look pretty good. And just like that, it only took me like forever, because I kept running out of concrete and plastic. So I upped my production, or at least my personal storages of both of them. So now I'm producing more concrete and plastic, because I'm going to need so much more to finish the logo, because it's going to be much bigger than this build. But now the lights are all placed. It took 187 blueprints, and each blueprint is 16 foundations. So the lights aside, I placed 3,000 foundations just for the ceiling. And as you can see, the ceiling's not quite done yet. I just started at this point and kind of just worked my way across until I couldn't place more. And there was a little gap in between the ceiling and the walls, which pretty much went all around. So I'm just going to fill that in with walls and power the lights on. And it should be looking pretty good in here. Alright, so I got all the foundations placed. So this whole building is completely boxed in. All I gotta do, connect this to this, and we have light and no frames. This feels a lot choppier than what it just was. But this looks amazing. It looks like the start of a mall. This entire building for just 28 refineries. Now I would like to start pulling the oil up and actually putting it into the refineries, because that'll allow me to actually get the layout of what I'm doing and be able to take all the pipes where I need them to be and know everything's going to work and be fine and look good, at least as good as I can do. Okay, so I got the basic layout for the refineries. I made this in a blueprint, 2 refineries with these pipes, and then I brought the pipes up from all the oil extractors, and then I just connect these pipes and it's nice and easy. But like I was saying, I'm not gonna have enough shards because I only have 6 left, because each blueprint takes 12 shards. And now, as you can see by my large amount of slugs, I already went hunting. So now I just toss a summer sloop in a constructor, craft something real quick so the double is applied, and now we go from 6 power shards to 247 power shards, which, if my numbers are right, that's more than enough to shard all the fuel generators, meaning instead of 140 fuel generators, I would only have to make 56. And now that would depend on how hard they actually are to make. Like, say I want to make 140 of them. That's not horrible, but it's not great either. I think that's very doable. It'll just kind of depend on whether or not I actually want to do it, because that's just kind of going to be a lot of piping to do. So I'll figure it out when I get to that point, but if I want to shard them, I have that ability, but I might save that for a different build. Alright, and then this is how I'm connecting them. This is 600 fuel per minute, and I got every single one. Don't mind that one, I forgot about that one. But I got every single one of them done. It's looking quite good. A lot of open space. And now I kind of just need to figure out where a center point is, where I want to bring all these pipes to shoot upwards. And my plan is to get these from the Awesome Shop, which will allow me to make a cool little like cylinder thing for the pipes to go upwards. And then when they get to the roof is when I'm probably going to do the pillar thing that I said I was going to do earlier, which would be 2 of these next to each other for like a giant pillar, I guess, to hold up the main logo or structure, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so I got what I'm assuming is a right about center. I just kind of eyeballed it, which it's a little hard to tell because of the awkward shape, but I think that's pretty close to center. Now I need to go unlock a couple things in the Awesome Shop. I would assume I have more than enough tickets. Oh my gosh. Oh yes, I have so many. Oh, I can spend so much money. Yoink, 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 yoink. Okay, do I have enough? Oh, I do, with some left over. Okay, so that's 5 extra tickets. Yoink. Alright, that's 54 tickets. Gone. Was it worth it? I don't know. I'll find out. Alright, now we can come back in here and we're going to use these. Actually, I think these are kind of pointless. Because yeah, this will end up taking up the whole block. So I don't even need those. But now that I'm thinking about it, it'll help me line things up. So I'm placing them for now anyways. Oh, I got issues. Of course I'm missing the concrete. But you can see this is basically my idea. So we're going to make this big cylinder thing in the middle. And then we're going to bring all the pipes to it and like run it up like a ramp. And it's going to shoot through the tunnel that I put here. And then just disperse throughout the big logo. Okay, so this is my idea. This is what I was thinking. So basically we got all the 600 fuel a minute pipes, or my bad, 400 fuel per minute pipes for a total of 2800 fuel a minute. So it's all coming here and then it's going to shoot up and go straight through the tunnel. However high I decide to make it, which is probably going to be pretty high. I mean, I'm assuming at least about right here or so, because I want to be able to see this logo from as far away as I possibly can. But yeah, it's coming together nicely. I just about got the base of this build completely done. Now, simply put, all that's left to do is put down some foundations and some fuel generators, and we're good to go. But, of course, I like to complicate everything and make the simplest tasks incredibly complicated and usually not done in the smartest ways. So it's going to take me probably a minute. Alright, now with everything on the base of the structure over there for the power plant completed, for the most part, I went ahead and connected the two pillars like I said I was going to do. So now it's basically a perfect 2x2 area. And it should look pretty good when I stack it up a few times. I don't know exactly how high I'm going, but as you can see on the right side, I have enough stuff to go 10 high, which each of these is 7 foundations. So I don't think I'm going to go that high, but I'm assuming at least 4 or 5 of them, and then I'll come back here and look from the distance and see roughly how high it is, see what it's looking like. But yeah, we can bring it over to the plant, nudge it into place, and go boop. Now we just do this a few more times until we get something sort of like this. So this is 7 blueprints tall, 49 foundations high, 49 walls high, and I think this should be plenty high enough to actually start the logo. I'm not too sure of the max build height, but I'm really hoping I'm not going to find it in this build. And another thing I noticed is a lot of these neon sign things, as you can see, it just disappeared. We're not really going to be able to see them from quite a distance, which is unfortunate. And I don't know if that's the same for the billboards, but as you can see, that is the pillar from the starter base. So the logo, if done right, it'll be massive. It'll be sick. Should be able to be seen from like everywhere. Dude. Oh, making progress. Alright, now I'm handcrafting 400 circuit boards so I can handcraft 100 computers and 100 heavy modular frames. Then we can grab some rubber, and now we can get the blueprint Mark II. So we can just delete this. Oh, I need more heavy modular frames. And replace it with a bigger one, which will help me tremendously in building this power plant. So simply put, the blueprint Mark II is a 5x5, which is perfect size for 4 fuel generators. And each one of my 7 pipes will use 5 of these blueprints for a total of 20 fuel generators per pipe, or in terms of megawatts, that's 5,000 megawatts per pipe of fuel. 7 pipes, 35,000 megawatts, which I think I might just skip right over turbo fuel. If I do use it, it's going to just be a small personal use for my jetpack. But I'm hoping this will take me to rocket fuel, and then if at all possible, if I don't use all the space in the logo, I would like to transform the base into a rocket fuel setup to push rocket fuel through all the pipes and then add more fuel generators and maybe even shard them all. But that is for a way later date. And after thinking about it, all the foundations need to be black. So that way, when I look over there at the logo, if I can see underneath it, which since that's the bottom of it, I'm sure I will be able to. I don't want to have to see the light foundations. I want it all to match. But alright, now that I got that taken care of, let's head over there and see what I can figure out. Okay, and as good as this would look, I have a change of plans. Because I was wanting power up there, and then I was going to come down here, and I was trying to figure out how I get back up there, all the way up there, with just my little jetpack. That can't even get me like halfway up the wall. So while power really isn't a problem, the problem is getting up and down easily and efficiently without a hover pack. So my idea is simply this. Now, while I don't think this looks as good or as flashy or whatever, it'll work and it'll be a lot better. So I just took the pipes and rerouted them to the sidewalls. And normally you can't connect pipes to the elevators like this. But what I did is I connected the full frame windows to the elevator and just zooped them up. And honestly, probably the hardest part of this build is going to be getting these pipes that high up. Okay, so while this does work, I ran into a small problem. So as you can see, this is really tall. So tall that I can't just use one elevator. After I arrive at a nice 196 meters, I have to jump out, go up, and the elevator is not here. The elevator isn't here. No, I'm not going out like this. It's not. Okay, I didn't account for that either. So I got to figure out a way to be able to easily press the button just like that. Okay, so elevator's on its way. But this is max height for the elevator. And so to get around that, I put some walls down and just drag the elevator from up here straight down on top of the other elevator. Is it perfect? No. But does it work? Kinda. But this is the bottom of the logo, and you can already see basically the entirety of everything that I've built so far, besides the screw factory, which is behind that mountain. But still, we're quite up here. Okay, so it's kind of hard to tell where everything is with the really dark foundations. Everything kind of just blends together. So I unlocked these paths in the awesome shop, spent 6 tickets, and you can't even see them on the platform. Okay, I figured it out. I fixed it. Alright, so the custom swatch that I was using had the black on both of these. So I just changed this to the fix it primary, and now it shows up nicely. Okay, I was worried for a second. But this, I'm gonna put this pathing on all of the foundations around where the fuel generators are, just so I can kind of tell where I'm at and where the generators are going to be. Kind of sectioning things off, make it easier for my brain. Okay, so I got the base of the logo done. This is where a bunch of the generators will be, and I'll be bringing the pipes up. And looking at this with how wide I did it, because I wasn't really wanting to go extremely wide with it, I might end up having to shard all the fuel generators, or I probably won't have enough space. And looking at it from this distance, I think it's definitely gonna need to be higher because of how wide it is, or it's going to look squished. So I'll probably just build up a couple more walls and hope that's good enough. Okay, so I've put in a few hours of work and the outline of the building is done. And I was kind of right. Not making these walls taller did kind of make it look squished. And I think I might have made this base area a little bit too long, but it still looks good. And you can absolutely tell it's a Chevy logo. So I am happy with that. If we come on up on top of the tube tower, then you can get a really good view. And now while that's in the way, I can't get rid of that, but I'm not too worried about it. That won't be in the way from everywhere in the map. That's just here at the starter base. But boys, it is massive and it is going to look so good. All that's left to do is fill in the walls, which will be super easy, just a ton of concrete and iron plates. Then we got to run the pipes up to the actual floors and place all the fuel generators. When I'm in there and looking at it, I don't think I'm going to have enough space for all 140 fuel generators. So I will most likely be sharding all of them for a total of, I believe, 56 fuel generators times 625. Yep. 625 is a fully sharded fuel generator, and with 140 unsharded fuel generators, I will be making 35,000 megawatts. So, yep, 56 fuel generators in this building. So just a little bit more work to do. A lot of this building was just trying to figure out how to build it. And now the last hard part is getting the pipes all the way up that pillar. But once I get those pipes up, it's super easy. Oh yeah, that's the kind of view I'm looking for. This is at my rubber and plastic little factory by the coal generators, and the logo is clear as day. And I should probably also mention, I don't think you could do this in base Satisfactory for one specific reason. So the sides of the logo that are slanted, they're slanted in a really weird way, at least for how Satisfactory works. So I use the tilted 8-meter walls, which are at this angle, but that's the angle of the wall that I used. So what I tried to do is, since I was using the 5x5 platforms, I went 4 wide on the shorter side of the logo, and then I used 2 of these, which they come out right about at 2.5 foundations. So when I use another one, that equals 5 foundations for my 5x5 block, and then the longer part is 5 of those 5x5s. So that's how I did these sides. But the reason I don't think you can do it in base Satisfactory is because I'm pretty sure the only reason when I lock things I can do weird stuff with them is because I have the infinite nudge mod. So I can do weird things like this and get precisely the things that I want. I'm not entirely sure that if that's in base Satisfactory, but I'm pretty positive it's not. But yeah, if you're in base Satisfactory and you're thinking about maybe doing something similar to this, even on a smaller scale, I don't know how you would get those angles right. That was the only way I could think of actually doing that. Maybe someone has some tricks out there to do some weird stuff with angled walls to change the angle like that. Or maybe I'm just an idiot and what I did is in base Satisfactory and this isn't even a problem. Alright, so my initial plan was to have 20 generators on each of these blocks. So it would be 20, 40, 60, 80, and then this is tall enough to do 2 fuel generators high. So then it would have been 100 and 120, and then up there was going to be another shelf for the 140, but that's a lot more work than I really need to do and kind of want to do. I've already spent about 10-ish, 11-ish hours on this build, and I'm ready to move on to different things. I just want to get my power going at this point and to see the sign done. I want nothing more than to just fill this sign in just so I can look at it. But I want to get the logistics, the piping and everything all set up before I do that and fill it in, so that way I can easily do everything without having to work in the dark or worry about lighting it. Which leads me to my next point. I figured out how I'm going to do the blocks. So I am going to shard all the fuel generators. So each one of these pipes of 400 fuel per minute can do 8 fully sharded fuel generators. So when I bring the pipes up, it's going to come in and just scoot along, filling up the 8 generators. And then I got the same thing on this side. And then I'm just going to copy and paste this build over here, which is going to give me my 32 of 56 fuel generators, which then leaves 24 fuel generators left. So I'm going to bring the last pipes up onto this floor and then do a different layout for 12 fuel generators on this side and 12 on this side. And then that'll be all 56 fuel generators, and then I'll be able to box this in. And I don't think I'm going to do the neons around the logo, at least yet, for a couple reasons. One, I don't have the hover pack, so I can only stay out here for certain amounts of time, which is a very short amount of time, and I can't stay at an even height. I'm constantly bobbing up and down, so it makes it a little more harder to place things. And two, I'm not automating crystal oscillators, and I imagine this building would take probably every bit of 100 or 200 large billboards to do the full neon design, and I am not handcrafting that many crystal oscillators. That's a no. So I'm just gonna finish doing the layout of the fuel generators on this side and probably up here as well, and then I'm going to bring the pipes up, because if there's one thing I've been dreading this entire build, it's figuring out how I'm going to easily get these pipes up here. Because again, I don't have a hover pack. I only have the jet pack. I can only stay in the air for certain amounts of time. If I had the hover pack, I could just right up here like I am the elevator. But it's not that simple. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. Maybe put elevator stops all over the place, and then just go up to the stop, drag the pipe up, go up to the next stop, drag the pipe up, go up to the next stop, which might end up happening. But alright, let's just copy and paste this here, like so. So now this whole bottom area is done with 32 fuel generators, fully sharded, waiting for the fuel to come up. But now I can come up here and place the remaining 24 fuel generators. Okay, so I'm not too sure how I'm going to do this, like get these fuel generators up here with the pipes nicely, like I did down here, just because these pipes are in kind of funky positions. So what I'm thinking is I take these 2 pipes, which will nicely go into here and here, and just do that. And then I'm thinking I take this pipe and shoot it straight up here. This one will connect here. This pipe will connect here. And then I need to figure out how to take those 2 pipes and shoot them straight up without interfering with this pipe here or here. Which means I will probably wrap them around or something at some point and then lift them up the elevator or something. Something like that. But yeah, I'm going to get the pipes up here before I do the fuel generators and whatnot, just so I can kind of figure out where I'm actually bringing the pipes up and how I should run the pipes and do the generators. Because I think down here will be fine. I probably won't need to redo anything, but only one way to find out. Okay, so I got the pipes ran all the way up. They go all the way where they need to be. And for the most part, they just go straight up the entire time until basically the very end. And I only had to add 2 more stops.
What about my needs? Would a human like being stuck in an elevator their whole life? No.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa! That's too damn bad!
And then at the end here is where the magic happens. So, right when you walk out, you got the 2 pipes here, and you got 2 pipes here, connected to fuel generators ready to go. All I need to do is put pumps on all of the pipes, because none of them have pumps yet. So I ended up taking this pipe on the far left, running it up, little turn right into here for this line of fuel. This middle one is what comes up and then turns and goes straight into here for the other line of fuel. And then the one on the end turns and then goes to this middle section here, along with the other 2 pipes that were over here. They do a little turn and then come up, and they just go straight up to the 2nd floor. So there'll be like a little wall of pipes here. And then these 2 just shot completely straight up and right into the fuel generators. No turns or nothing. Nice and easy. This actually wasn't as bad as what I was thinking it was going to be. It only took me like a half hour or so. Not bad at all. I was dreading it a lot more than I should have been. But then we come up to the 3rd floor, or the 2nd floor, where the pipes are. And now I was probably going to bring this middle pipe a little bit higher, and then split the 400 fuel a minute into each of these pipes. So each pipe is 600 fuel a minute, allowing each pipe to power 12 fuel generators. So that way I can just split this pipe over here and this pipe over here, and then I don't have to worry about dragging a 3rd pipe to wherever and making it messier than it should be. And I think I'm just going to do the same thing as I did down there with the fuel generators, just because I made these 5x5 blocks, and that's what I based this build off of, basically, sticking the fuel generators in here really tightly together. And so there's not a whole lot else I can do to make it look different than just side by side. So I'm just going to do that, 12 on each side, and this build's pretty much done. Just add pumps and then fill in all the walls, and I'll be making all of the power. Got the goddamn biggest block Chevy in the goddamn neighborhood. These boys pulling up to the starting line don't even know how much power I'm about to have. Okay, so I got a few things figured out. This top section here, I just went ahead and blocked it off completely because I'm not using it. And then as you can see, since I blocked it off, I don't have to put the lights up so high because I couldn't even reach up there. So I'd have to figure out a way to get up there and do all the lights and whatnot, and that would just be a major pain. So I just blocked it off so that way the lights are all nice, even, and easy to place. So I just got to do this side, but I'm out of steel beams, so got to go grab some of those to finish the lights. And then this is what I decided to do for the pipes. So I made this first one a little bit shorter, kept this middle one where it was at, and then raised this one. These ones do a little crisscross with the curve build option. And then this one will split here, putting 200 fuel a minute into that pipe and 200 a minute into that pipe. So both pipes will be getting 600 fuel a minute. So once I go get the beams to place the rest of the lights, all I gotta do is place the generators and then fill in the walls for this middle section. Oh yeah, almost forgot. And I gotta do the pipeline pumps. But other than that, this build is done and ready to go. But okay, I need beams. Let's go get some beams. And it might not look the best, but it's coming together. That is all the lights done. Nice. Now, the only problem is none of these lights are technically powered because I just powered a couple of those lights there just to sort of see what it would look like, get a feel for it. And then I just copied those lights and placed them so they all have light. And well, I don't know about you, but I can't see that cable. Those cables are impossible to see on the true black foundations. So now I get to reload my game so that way all of these can lose power and I can simply reconnect them to power. Ah, good times, good times. And now that we have the building properly lit up, we can actually close it in. Finally. So I have 4 sections technically to this build. There's this one, that one, that one, and that one. It looks like each section is about 1,000 walls. Oh man. And this is just one small part of the build. 4,000 walls. Okay, so I need more plates to go finish that last wall. I'm kinda out. It takes about 2,000 plates per wall. This is going to be my first look at the build basically completely closed in, at least from the front. And I'm nervous. I'm hoping it looks at least alright. But without further ado, okay. It honestly looks better than what I thought. Oh no. Ouch. I feel like it could definitely use a little bit more height on this bottom and top spot, but I mean, that's exactly what I was wanting. I said I wanted a massive Chevy logo that you could see across the entire map, and I think I did it. I think I did it well. Well enough, anyways. That makes me happy. I know I'm not no professional builder or anything. I know this could probably be done better and maybe even at a larger scale, but I have yet to see this specifically done anywhere by anyone. I don't know if Satisfactory players just aren't car people, but I would love to see someone do this better and bigger, or not even bigger, but just better. But anyways, I'm happy with this. Let's go over there and finish the wall, place down the fuel generators and pipeline pumps. Then I can just stand back and be mesmerized by my 35,000 megawatt Chevy logo tower. Oh yeah. Goddamn America. Alright, so I got everything done on this floor. Everything is powered. Every pipe is connected. And then I got everything done on this floor as well. So this little crisscross, the 600 pipe will lead over here to these 12 fully sharded generators. And then this 600 pipe will lead over here to these 12 fully sharded generators. And as you can see, there's only one line on each of these sides, unlike down here where they're back to back. And I have room for another set of fuel generators above it, and I have room for 2 more sets of 20 fuel generators up here. So if I ever want to expand this or change the fuel into turbo fuel, this building is extremely expandable. All I would have to do is work with the fuel type down at the bottom, and then as the fuel type gets pushed up, I would just have to add more fuel generators and move the pipes. It'd be a little bit of work, but it's definitely doable. But every single thing now is done except for the pipeline pumps for the pipes that come all the way down here. So once I get the pipeline pumps on, I'll be able to power all of this, and the fuel portion of this factory will be completely done. So I need to make some heavy modular frames, and yeah, after that, I'm good to go. Okay, that took a little bit longer than I was hoping. That was about, I think, 37 or 38 Mark II pumps. I had 42 heavy modular frames, 4 left. That was a little bit of a job, a little more of a job than I wanted it to be, but it's done. So now my fuel power plant will produce all the fuel, hopefully. All I gotta do now is dodge this death hole, is set up a temporary awesome sink, because fuel produces polymer resin. Each one's producing 75 polymer resin per minute, and we have 28 refineries. So that's 2100 polymer resin per minute. So now I'll simply head back to the hub and unlock Logistics Mark IV when I go grab more modular frames. And now we can go boo. And now we just head back to the power plant, thread the needle, thread the needle, thread the needle, thread the needle. Oh, so close. So now I just need to simply grab all the polymer resin from all of these refineries and bring it over here. Like so. So now we have all the refineries hooked up and brought all the way over here, which that was a minute ago. I think I said it was 2100 polymer resin per minute. It probably took a little bit longer than it should have. Why? Probably just because I'm bad. But it looks good. It's all nice and organized and spread out evenly. Brought over here, which it'll just be dumped into awesome sinks. And just to make it easy and not have to balance anything or merge any of these belts or whatever, I'm just going to build 7 awesome sinks, one for each one. Just like this, nice, quick, and easy. And now, the final step of this entire building is just connecting these refineries to power. After that, I can sit here and think about the fact that I spent about 20 hours building a Chevy logo in Satisfactory. Oh. But hey, I'm making 35,000 megawatts. So can I really complain? And thankfully, I made this really easy on myself because all I need to do is connect the refineries, and then in all of these holes, I already got the oil extractors and the pipeline pumps powered. So I just connect it to here, and then boom, this setup is done. Now I just do that 6 more times. And holy shit, as I start to turn these on more and more, I thought I was already getting kind of framey and starting to lag a little bit, get some mouse lag, like where I can really feel it. But as I start to turn these machines on, oh, it just gets worse and worse. Oh. No. No. No, 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 no. Okay, this is an easy fix. I just take a couple of these off, and then I flip the breaker, right? What is that? Really? Okay, why? This is on a foundation. What is happening? 900 megawatts for max consumption. Okay, yes, we're just below. So we got a couple of them connected. So I was wanting to connect all of them, let the polymer resin back up and whatnot, and then connect the awesome sinks because I thought it would look really good. But that's not going to happen. I have to connect the awesome sinks immediately so I can start getting fuel flowing and getting generators turned on. Unfortunate. But even with the few and the little tiny amount of polymer resin, it's still looking pretty good. So now I kind of just wait. Oh, you can see it, the fuel. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Okay, so some of the fuel generators should be turning on quite soon. Oh yeah. Okay, now we can start connecting more. It's a little jumpy right now. It should level out. But all right, we should be able to connect the rest of these now. Boom. All right, all of them are now powered on. Why is it not pumping enough oil? Hello, my good sir. Flow rate is only 300 a minute. Why? Why is the flow rate only 300 a minute? Why? Did I use the wrong pipe somewhere? Surely not, right? Why? It's pumping 600 oil a minute. Or it's supposed to be. Is it these? Okay. Maybe that was it? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Why? Like, if I take the shards out, it's basically producing the same exact amount. I don't get it. Okay, well, whatever. For now, everything is on, and for the most part, it's working sometimes. I don't know what is happening, but like it's all got oil. It's just not getting the oil, like it's not pumping the oil. I don't understand it. Like, look, it's just not pumping anything. It doesn't make any sense. Like, these just aren't even working anymore at all. It's backing up on fuel. Why? Why is this pump not working? Shows it's got fuel up there. Does it stop there? That one shows it's not working either. Sometimes. Not at all. That one seems like it's working. I don't get it. Do I need to put more pumps? All the fuel is going up. Okay, maybe I need to check the generators. Like, there's fuel all the way up here. So the pipes are, or the pumps are pushing it up. But it's like it's just not being used. Why? Yeah, what the heck? Not a single one of these? They're all connected though. How does it not have power? Wait, what? What is happening? There's fuel right here. All the way up. Why does it just stop right there? Hello? And I can't even build on the pipelines or the pipe? Well, what? I'm sorry? Hello? Okay, why? Why did that just happen? All I had to do was replace the pipes? But why? I don't get it. Are you telling me that's what's happening with the other pipes too? I hope not. It doesn't look like it. Well, no, this one's just getting, like, no juice. These should be getting constant juice. Okay, well, it seems everything's working up here. For the most part. Not really. I don't know. It seems like everything should be working. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe if there's a person in the comments that's a lot less stupid than I am, that knows the answer to this problem and what's going on, maybe you've dealt with this before, why this stuff is like only part-time working, like why. So this one's doing the same thing, even though it's sharded to 600 oil a minute, it's only pushing 300 a minute. I don't understand. Yeah, okay, well, I am done with this build. I have spent so much time on it, and the last thing I want to do is sit here and be annoyed at it for the next 5 hours trying to figure out what's going on when I don't have a single clue, and it could just be the game. It could just simply be the game. I don't know, because those should be pushing 600 a minute, and they're not. They're only pushing 300. So yeah, like I said, maybe if there's someone that's watching this and is willing to comment that's a lot less stupid than I am, please let me know. If not, well, it works, and I am at least averaging 28 to 30,000 megawatts or so, which is a lot more than what I had before. But with this fully running, it should be producing me 35,000 megawatts. But like that, for some reason, it just completely stops. I don't know what's going on. And now these are backing up on fuel as well. So it's probably doing the exact same thing that happened over there. So not only am I having to deal with these stupid little bugs that are happening where it just for no reason pushes, or just, it for no reason just doesn't push the fuel through the pipe. So I have to go and delete the pipes and then replace them exactly how they already were, and it works for no reason. And then I'm also having to deal with the oil extractors pushing out half the amount that they're supposed to, which also doesn't make any sense. But again, maybe I'm just retarded or something. I don't know. Maybe there's someone in the comments or watching this that's much smarter than me and has dealt with this and knows that there's an actual problem or something that I need to do. I don't know. But it's done. It looks great. It does. Every bit of this building I think actually looks really, really good. But for now, it's time for me to just bask in my glory. This has been the Fuel Power Plant. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to let me know. Maybe give this video a like, and I'll see you in the next one.